She's here to
Well,
talk about handling of cash at the transfer station. But it looks like we are on live on YouTube, so we're good to go.
All right. So basically, I asked Jessica to.
What is Jessica here for?
Can you hear me, Lisa?
Yep. Yes, I can.
Okay. I asked her to be available for this discussion. I would like to discuss the handling of cash at the transfer station. I really think that we shouldn't be handling cash, and that we should go to, every other means there is, like every other town around us, especially now with different people that are going to come. It would be a good thing to do. There is an issue of the cost of using credit cards. The checks would be business as usual. But so anyways, if Jessica is here, I'd like her to discuss the cash issue and the credit card issue.
Looks like she's having trouble connecting to audio at the moment. Well, while we wait, I can read my little spiel thing here.
Perfect.
Just gonna pull it up here. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions on the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 19, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Freetown Board of Selectmen is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort is being made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to view this meeting while in progress may do so by accessing the live stream of this meeting on the town's YouTube channel, youtube.com/freetownma, or accessible by visiting freetownma.gov/freecam. In the event the live stream is unsuccessful, I am recording this meeting, and the recording will be posted to the town's YouTube channel as soon as I am able to following the conclusion of this meeting. And for the record, we have Selectman Pacheco, we have Selectman Grunwald, we have Selectman Matthews, who's not on camera tonight, and David DeMonch, Town Administrator, and also the Town Treasurer, Jessica Thomas.
Just to back up on this, Lisa, is the reason that I would like to see cash not being handled anymore is because there's very loose accountability for that kind of cash. And that's why most of these other towns have done away with it. And I feel pretty strongly that we should also. So anybody have any comments on that?
Well, you were going to have Jessica weigh in on things.
Right. I mean, I don't know where she is. I'm waiting.
She's here now.
Oh, Jessica?
She just has to unmute. There you go.
Okay, did I miss the talk? You guys already talked about it?
I just brought the subject up and gave my opinion on it, so to speak, and would like to hear what your opinion is and how do you think it would work or not work. And I guess the big issue that always comes up every time we bring up credit cards is the cost of using credit cards. So having said that, Jessica, take it away. You're on.
Okay, so basically the options to go cashless would be you would accept a check with no fee, or you would offer them to use their Visa debit or their credit card. I think most of the charges are below $100, so the fee for a credit card would be $250. If they use their Visa debit, it would be $395. We could have the option, if you guys wanted to, absorb those fees so the fees don't get turned over to the resident. But that's basically all I have. If that's what you guys want to do, I definitely could, have that set up.
So I do have some questions. Can you tell me how much over the past year we took in checks, credit cards, and in cash?
I'm only aware of maybe less than 5 times that we've had a credit card processed. I do see mostly cash. I don't know like numbers, but mostly cash comes in from the transfer station. A few checks here and there.
Okay. I guess I'd have a question for Kim too, but she's not here. David, go ahead. Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
Do you want to ask me? Is it for Kim?
It was for Kim. I don't know if you would know, but is the transfer station losing money because we do cash?
No.
But we don't know that.
Well, if it's not losing money now and we're accepting cash, then we're not losing money. I guess I don't follow that. But I'm just asking questions because I need to make a decision based on information. David, do you know the answer to that?
I do not. However, we have had this discussion in the past. I did seek out an opinion from town council as to whether or not we could go strictly with credit cards, and the answer that came back wasn't clear in terms of its guidance. I had originally thought that there was an obligation to accept cash because, American currency is backed by the gold standard and is a form of currency that's, duly accepted anywhere in the United States. Council didn't say that that was the case or wasn't the case. So it came right down in the middle. I know there are communities that use strictly credit cards. I know in accordance with talking with George a while back, that there's a neighboring community that only accepts checks. I'm not sure what.
Or credit cards.
Oh, all right. So basically, it's a board decision. I think the key thing is the fee. Given that we're charging, to allow people to dispose of it. We now say that that's the cost of administering the credit card system is, the value that's going to be added onto the bill, the $395 or the $250. Is that the road we want to take?
Right, and
There is value.
And if we don't accept cash and we absorb the fee of the $250 or $395, then we are jeopardizing ourselves possibly in losing money at the transfer station. And I don't think that that's what any of us want.
We should get the numbers from Kim first to see how much we're making or losing.
I think honestly, from a cost control or a cash control standard, obviously checks and credit cards are easier to manage in terms of cash control. Cash has always been out there in terms of something that it's harder to control it in terms of, we did put in a new cash register, so we do have a mechanism by which we now have a draw. We start the draw out with $100 at the beginning of the day. We have all the keys keyed in, so if it's a mattress or whatever, we know it gives us more information than we had previously, because now we're knowing that we did 10 mattresses and 5 tires or whatever. So, from the perspective of having cash to a cash register, it's improved the efficiency of allowing us to number one, understand what it is, what we're doing, how we're controlling what we're doing in terms of what we're taking in and how much we're charging. But once again, like I said, cash is cash, you know. I don't know if I'm really being clear, but
But and like
No, you are.
right now, we do pass on the credit card fee to the end user, right? So it shouldn't be any surprise that people are opting to use cash, you know, because that's the incentive, right? So and I think George's point here is he wants more accountability, you know, and wants to see that, but we're not kind of we're not like creating a situation that's going to happen right now by, you know, the incentive being to use cash. So maybe would the first step be just to absorb those credit card fees to see if most people start using credit cards, and then we don't really have an issue anyways, right? If 90% were credit cards going forward, if it was the same cost to the person going to the dump.
So the thing about a transfer station is you don't want to make it so people start dumping their stuff on the side of the road, right? So,
Yep.
so that's why we have a transfer station, and we can't say, okay, so now you're gonna pay the $2. All right, so say getting rid of, I don't know, brush is, I don't know, or 2 bags of garbage is $10. Now we're gonna charge you $2.50 to use the $10, to charge the $10. And then,
Yeah.
and
What I'm saying is we shouldn't be charged. We should be absorbing the fee as a town if we
But
want, you know.
okay,
all right,
but
so how
then,
do we increase the fees to reflect?
right,
Yeah.
because we can't be losing, the transfer station can't lose money. So if we're gonna start to absorb the fees, then you're gonna see every time there's a credit card thing, we're gonna absorb either $3.95 or $2.50, because most people are probably gonna put it on their debit card.
Yep.
So that's $3.50 is, if I understand just correctly. So now, every time somebody steps into that transfer station that uses their debit card, we are gonna be absorbing $3.50.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
No, I agree. I just
Is that $3.50 gonna show up in their bill? On their
I don't
statement?
know. Jess?
Right now, the way it works is, say they get a $10 charge. So they'll see a $10 charge that comes right into our bank account. And then separately, it's actually $3.95 that gets charged separately, and that goes straight to the bank. We don't even see that. But we have the option of getting an invoice quarterly instead of charging that to the card.
gotcha.
What I'm saying is when the person's statement, if I go to Bank of America, I bring a mattress up, it's $10. You guys get the $10. On my credit card statement, is there gonna be a charge for $3.95?
Yes,
Okay, so we're
you'll
not,
see that go
it's
to,
not built
you know,
in. They're getting charged at $3.95. They're really paying $13.95. They're
yeah,
not paying $6.
exactly.
Yeah,
I don't know, something doesn't sound right here. I mean, if I go to Dunkin' Donuts and I buy a cup of coffee,
I know you said this before, George. I don't have an answer for this. I don't know.
yeah, there's something that's not correct here.
I think it's because I think most companies probably batch all their credit cards into one big payment.
Yeah, and what happens is that in that case, Dunkin' Donuts adds that cost onto the cost of doing business and builds that cost into the pricing model.
Right, and I think that's what
That's why it doesn't come out.
and every business must do the same thing, wouldn't you say?
Then you should look at all the fees at the transfer station and then go over them and bring them back to the board for a vote on increasing the fees. And then at that point, then you would have to get a vote of the board to say, okay, it's cash, it's check or credit card, and these are gonna be the new fees associated with transfer
Across the
station.
board. Across the board.
I have no problem with the whole idea of the credit card. I think it does, consolidate, in terms of our financial monitoring of the transfer station.
I guess
I just don't want to see people all of a sudden getting charges on their bill saying, oh, geez, if I'd known it was going to be $4 more, I would rather have just given the $10 in cash.
Right, and I'm just gonna be honest, I for one don't see a problem with the cash because I would rather just pay the $5 or the $3 or the $14 instead of using my credit card or debit card. That's for a small amount. Like, I don't, if we're not
Well-
losing money, but do I think that I think that we should talk to Kim and find out if we're losing money. I think we should look at what the new fees would be, because we raised fees a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, and people had a heart attack because the fees were astronomical. So I don't want to
Well,
start going and raising fees again and not taking cash.
Lisa, we raised the fees, but you know what? Our revenue did not go up. When I checked on that, our revenue has been flat for a number of years. And I know we've had increases in the charges, but our revenue, so are less people using it, or what is going
No,
on?
the cost of disposal is going up.
No, I'm talking about strictly revenue.
Right, but
You
the
do revenue
cost,
against expense.
right, the expense, like, of getting rid of the material at the
But
transfer station.
that's another issue, though. That's a totally different issue. We're only talking about the charges to people who are dropping things off. What we have to pay to get rid of the stuff down the road, that's another issue altogether.
Well, no, because we had to pay for brush last year and that went up. We had to pay for mattresses, that went up. So I mean, the cost of dropping off a mattress may be $20 and the cost of getting rid of it might be 19, so we're only making $1. Next year, it could go up another $1. I mean, so I think we have to look at what our money in and money out is and then look at the.
Absolutely. But these are separate issues. What I'm talking about is accountability, that we know what should be charged and are we getting it all and so forth. The whole issue of are we profitable or not, that's a separate issue and needs to be looked at separate. Maybe we should sit down with Kim and come up with profit and loss statement for the transfer station and see where we are on that. But I'm talking only about cash control, which has nothing to do with what you're talking about. Okay, it's a very loose system over there. Okay, we have no accountability and no control over the cash.
Well, I happen to trust the people that work for me. So for me, that's what it comes down to. And if we're not losing money and we can account for everything that's coming in and going out of the transfer station, that we're a service, not a business. So that's how I look at it. But look, we're a board of 3. We can all vote. I'm not worried about that at all.
We're hiring, you trust the people that are there, that's fine. But we have more people coming in and you don't know who is going to handle what. And it's just not a good business model whatsoever. You're putting money out there that you could say it's totally uncontrolled. But
yeah, I don't know. So maybe we should talk to Kim, find out where we're at, to see, if we're losing money. I don't know. That's up to the board. So if Trevor wants to make a motion, or if you want to make a motion, we can vote on not accepting credit cards, but not accepting cash, but you're gonna have to make that as a date certain so people have enough notice.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we not accept cash to start in 60 days to give us time to review the issue.
So are you reviewing it, or you're just gonna put notice out right now that cash will no longer be accepted as of whatever 60 days of now is?
No, let's just make it 60 days to review the issue.
Okay, so we're not making a motion to just not do cash right now.
No, because we're not have enough facts.
Okay.
Okay, so like I said,
Why don't we, okay, so why don't we review how the cash register is working? And then sit down, talk to Kim, look at what the fees are at the transfer station, what it would be if we had to add a credit card charge on and a debit card charge, and review that in 60 days.
Okay.
Okay? Trevor,
I'll grant that motion.
do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Pacheco,
Yes.
and Selectman Grunwald.
Yes.
So nothing has to go out right now, Tim. We're just reviewing everything. Okay, the next, all right, so, weekly warrants. Oh, Jessica, you're all set.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Thank
too,
you, Jessica.
thanks.
Bye-bye.
Okay, weekly warrants for the month of September 2020, numbered, 011 to 014. Do I have a motion to sign?
Motion granted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes. Okay, set time and location and procedure for October 3rd, 2020 town meeting. Is anybody here to speak to that?
We have
David?
the date picked out, October 3rd, but we just need to figure out exactly what time we're gonna have it, where we're gonna have it, and what method. Are we gonna do it in person? Are we gonna do the drive-in style out on the football field, some combination, something like that? I did talk to the moderator. He said he would prefer it to be somewhat in the afternoon, because we've seen, this is me speaking, not Mike. We've had two of them now at 10:30 in the morning, and we haven't had a big turnout. So maybe try something a little different, but totally up to you guys.
What's everybody's thoughts?
We could try afternoon. Why
I mean,
not?
yeah, I don't have really a strong opinion either way.
I think you should stay outside either way, either the football field or the drive-in. I think trying to bring people inside in a room with no ventilation is not a good idea.
I agree with that.
Another option that Mike suggested was basically call it for either the elementary school or Apponequet. Don't come up with, drive-in versus football field or anything like that, and then we can come up with a procedure later on.
Sounds good to me.
So where does he want to have it?
His suggestion was if we are going to have the warrant as it is, complete with the town clerk and highway surveyor articles, your best bet's probably Apponequet, because that could be a controversial issue. But if we are getting rid of those articles by chance, there's really nothing controversial on there, so you could probably do it at the parking lot of the elementary school.
Okay, so we don't know what we're voting on that yet, so why don't we wait till the end of the meeting to decide that?
We can do that. We could also even wait for the next meeting as well, but, well, when we finalize the warrant, that's when this vote actually needs to be taken. That's the latest it can happen.
Okay. So we can just probably set it at the end of this meeting if you want. That's not really a big issue. I don't see it being a big issue. Right?
Yeah,
Trevor?
that'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see it.
Might as well just get it out of the way. Okay, early voting for 2020 presidential election.
Okay, we had,
I had asked-
okay, go ahead, Tim.
Okay, I'd asked Jackie to be present for this, but she had a prior commitment. She wasn't able to come. I was under the impression that we were going to be discussing changing the location for early voting. She said the ball's already rolling on her end. She's not even considering town hall. It will be at the COA.
Good.
So I think this is all set.
Okay. So we're good on that one, because I think that's my last conversation with her. I think that's what she said, so that's good. Septic betterment for 145 South Main Street. Anybody here for that?
Derek had provided a letter that has a little bit of background of that in your packet.
I guess what has happened in the past is that the town had basically a loan program to allow the resident to make connection, in that they made a provision by which they would then pay back the loan through taxes, and Derek has said that there's money available for that, currently available to make that loan. I guess we've done it in the past. They haven't done it since I've been here, but
Derek had said that he's looking to just get the ball rolling with this. We'll have a contract later on that we would have to sign with the resident, but he just wants
I'm sure
the
that's a
approval
standard
to start the ball
contract.
rolling.
All right, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion granted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Tim, what's next?
Next, we have the Town of Freetown Recreational Facilities Rules and Regulations. Previously, you guys had said that the Parks and Recreation Committee could just update the document that was written years and years ago. But if you guys want to just kind of like codify that vote to give them an actual charge, it'd be good to go.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to have the Parks and Recreation Committee update this and bring it forward to us.
Motion granted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Tim, do you have to take the roll?
I do. I actually just remembered that.
Thank
So
you.
we'll start with this one, then I'll go back.
Okay,
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
yes.
All right, so previously with the septic betterment, it was a motion by Selectman Matthews to approve, seconded by Selectman Grunwald. So Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes,
And I believe that's the only one we missed.
yep, I think so. Next,
Next, we have snow plowing for the 2020-2021 snow season. The contracts are all set from the Highway Department. Previously, the board had said that you guys wanted to set a new rate this year to kind of come up with like an early, for someone that's, any of the contractors, if they signed up soon, they would get the new rate, and if not, they would get the old rate. But the highway surveyor has submitted a letter that's in all your meeting materials, requesting that there's no change to the application, the fees and whatnot.
okay, so with this then, Trevor, just to bring you up to speed, last year we had we set a deadline and then we had people coming in at the last minute or 3 weeks later or whatever. So it was hard to find out what was going on. So we said that we'd make a deadline and adhere to that deadline because it just makes a nightmare for Tim in the office and everything else. So we can't, and then we said we would offer them, I don't know, X amount of dollars more if they got their application in on time. If not, then whoever would be at the old rate. But if he's not going to change the rates, because he said, I think he indicated he was going to, which doesn't bother me one way or the other. We just have to make sure that if we're going to do this, if we all agree, we need to just stick to a deadline because it just drives our office crazy. And then at the last minute, we don't know if we have enough people or not enough people. And then we have to let subcontractors know and other towns and whatever. So what's the board's pleasure here? How long do you want to give them? What did we have for a deadline last year? The first one.
I would say it was end of October, but I can confirm real quick.
That seems reasonable anyways, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I would think November 1st or October 31st.
Yeah, November 1st works for, it's a Sunday or,
Yeah, it looks like the last deadline was November 12th, so the other one would have been a little bit before that.
okay, so why don't we say the deadline is Monday, 11/2.
Works for me.
George, good?
Yeah, that's
Because
fine.
remember, George, you remember that fiasco, right?
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay, so do I have a motion to have the highway department snow contracts available as soon as possible with the deadline of 11/2?
Motion granted.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes.
And before we go on, I also included a letter in your packet. Previous years, the contracts were supposed to be returned to the selectman's office, where basically I have to chase down everyone. They end up asking me questions like, when's the highway surveyor going to call them? When's that? I don't know the answer to that. I don't think that this office should be the one, should be the point of contact for those. I don't know where it should be, but I would like to request that, them to be returned to the highway department or some other office that isn't here.
Tim, unfortunately, for me personally, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one, but I will meet you halfway. I think that the highway surveyor and his office should have a frequently asked questions kind of thing and hand it to that person when they drop off the application. And that they're not to call your office to find out if they're accepted or not accepted. Give them, put on that sheet, the highway department's office. But unfortunately, the board of selectmen are the ones that sign off on the contracts. And that's why we trust you to make sure that they're all intact before we sign off on them.
Okay.
I am sorry. But Trevor, George,
Yeah, I mean,
it's a hard, I know, Tim, maybe next year we work on this over the years, but I think that if we just have a sheet and say, this is where you need to go to get your questions answered, you're only dropping off your contract here, all questions should be forwarded to the highway department. Even give them the cell
Okay.
phone number.
So should I be telling the contractors exactly how they need to be dropping them off? Because this is going to require, you know, with the front door situation, I'm going to be going, I will be the highway department clerk if we continue with the way this is working right now. Or
So-
the way, if last year continues to this year.
I don't want it to get worse. I want it to get better. So we have to figure out a way other than just handing it off to another department that basically is downstairs anyway. So I would say, like, if we put something on the front door with highlighted with, you know, snowplow contracts, read this before coming in. And then there should be like a cover letter with those snowplow contracts, right? And it should have everything on there. Like, please do not hand this off until you have everything signed off. And almost shame on them if they don't have everything signed off, because this is a contract that you're doing for the town. And a lot of those people have been doing it for years and years, so they should know everything that they have to have. So no, do I want you to be traced?
Please have a checklist, and if it's not complete, you don't accept the application.
Lisa, can't we give Chuck as the contact person?
Yeah, I don't,
Call Chuck?
yeah, give them the cell phone numbers, give them whatever. I don't care,
Right.
but they shouldn't be calling Tim and they shouldn't be coming into the office unless they have their packet ready. It's almost like going to a job interview and not having your resume. That doesn't even make sense.
Right. So questions, part of the package should say, questions, call Chuck McComber and the number, and let them get the information directly from who they should be getting it from.
And
Right.
Tim, if they call the office, Tim, you say, sorry, you need to call this number, blah, 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 blah. And then just, no, you are not that clerk, but unfortunately we sign off on the contracts and we trust you to have everything ready. If they don't have it, we don't accept it. I don't know. I just feel like people should know better, sort of. Okay, you hate me now.
All right, so next we have Chapter 90 project request for the paving of Chase Road.
David, do we have an update on the work that's going to be done on Chase Road?
Well, we had all met out on site itself, Andy, Chuck and I, to talk about, the concern was digging up Chase Road and then having to paving it and then have to redig it up again to do that culvert. There was an agreement that came out of that meeting where they were going to do 2 head walls with a 60-inch pipe going underneath the road. That was going to be done prior to the paving of the project, the paving project that was going to be funded with the Chapter 90 monies. I believe that Chuck had included in the application the endpoints. Was in terms of where it was going to start, where it was going to end. I don't know if I don't have that here.
No, I don't have. It's 12,120 feet.
Yeah,
That's what I have. So
Road, it was one of the points.
it's from Slabridge Road all the way to the railroad.
That's
So
what he said. Yeah.
up towards the cranberry bogs.
Yep.
So, all right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Chase Road cold planing and paving after the work of the of the whatever that is.
Culvert.
Yeah, culvert. I wanted to say cul-de-sac for a second. Be finished in the amount of 372,433.62.
Motion granted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes. Ambulance abatements, Tim?
Yep, ambulance abatements and write-offs for the month of July 2020.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to have contractual allowances for the month of July 2020 in the amount of 55,262.27 and write-offs in the amount of 2,460.41 for a total amount of $52,801.86.
Motion granted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes. Do you have a motion to accept the Monday, August 17th, 4:30 Board of Selectmen meeting minutes?
Motion granted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman Pacheco.
Yes.
Now we have the
Next.
August 26th meeting minutes.
Do I have a motion to accept those minutes as well?
Motion granted.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
Selectman Pacheco.
Yes.
All right, town administrators report.
Okay, I don't have too much because I was off last week, but a couple things. One is I want to recognize the police team for all of the work they did between Taylor and Andy and H.V. Collins and all the parties basically getting us to the finish line to make sure that we had the regular building insurance added to our schedule for the police station. It was a race to the finish because the builder's risk policy couldn't be renewed, but we were able to pull everything together and we worked cooperatively to actually to get the building insurance in place on Friday before the expiration of the builder's risk insurance. So, you know, kudos to everybody that spent some time getting Maya and Cabot Risk all the information they needed to make the underwriting decision to allow us to insure the new police station building. I just wanted the board to know that I've got a check-in last week in the amount of $6,438.75 from Eversource as a reimbursement for the streetlights. That was part of the whole deal that we had worked with MAPC. There's still going to be another reimbursement coming, but the net cost for the LED lights and their installation will, when both of the it's a grant. When both of the grants come through, it'll be less $10,000 as a result of applying for the rebates as well as for the reimbursement. Finally, last week I had a conversation with Maureen Candido, who's the town administrator down in Lakeville. We spoke about the scanner grant. As you're all aware, we got $160,000 split between the two communities for IT purposes to allow us to scan in historical documents, creating a microfiche, as well as scanning them into a database that will be a searchable database. They are moving ahead. We talked about process, how we would do it in tandem. And she actually had put it out through King Systems, who had done the last documentation program in Freetown. A lot of the stuff that got moved over to the old schoolhouse for storage was sorted and compiled and scanned by King Systems. So the feeling is that we'll probably use King again for that same purpose. I'm looking more towards the building department and the police department, because they have tons of records that go back to the 70s, being able to have them scanned onto microfiche and then have them searchable through the computer on a database that's in the cloud. And there's multiple types of redundancy there too, in terms of locations, so that if one site goes down, there's always a backup somewhere. But we are moving forward with that. I'm not sure we're going to be completed with it before I leave, but I'd like to see that underway before that happens, before I leave. So that's it.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions for David?
I do not. Thank you, David.
Thank you. George?
No, I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Next is the police station update.
I think if everybody has taken a drive-by, you can see that we certainly are at the end. We have a meeting tomorrow night, no, Thursday night. We're gonna do our walkthrough. So I'll have more to report, especially on the opening ceremonies that will be taking place. But I think the amount of work that Andy has done with CGA and Taylor has done with Pomeroy and Associates, I think that this community has a building that we can all be proud of, and everybody's hard work. The weekly meetings of the police station construction committee and the police station subcommittee, all working hand in hand, has really paid off. And I think that, you know, the opening ceremonies will be something that we'll all be proud of for sure. Next.
Next, we go back to the Board of Health. First is the trash and recycling pickup survey.
Our last meeting, we discussed getting more data and what the issues were with the trash pickup. And I think we agreed to send a survey out, and Tim has put it together. And just had to get a vote to see if we want to send it out or not.
Yeah, I'm all for sending it out. I was actually gonna share something. I got a couple of pictures, and this person, who I'm not gonna say, said, "This is the second time in 3 weeks we have been missed. Our pickup day is usually Friday. We were promised a Tuesday pickup. What are we going to do to deal with, what are we going to have to deal with next? A rat problem? Completely disgusted with all phases of accountability. Please feel free to reach out." Anyway, that person, I don't know, messaged me on Facebook. So, I mean, we still have issues, and I think that this survey will definitely help us as we move forward to see what the issues are. And maybe, Tim, like, put what side of town you live on, you know, like precinct 1, 2, or 3.
I actually have a question about like what day your trash pickup is scheduled for, so we know that maybe it's just that one driver, if it's, you know, where exactly, and that kind of gives it a location of where the issue might be, but still allows it to be an anonymous survey.
Okay. And what do you think about doing, do you do both, like curbside trash as a separate question and recycling as a separate question? Because some people just do recycling and not curbside because they have a dumpster. So I'm just wondering if that might help.
We can update that if you'd like.
I don't quite understand what you mean by that, because on my street, at least, they pick up both at the same time, one truck.
Yes, they do, but some people don't have trash because they have a dumpster and they just have recycling picked up.
All right, so I don't know where the issue is with that. So if
I
they have
guess it would just indicate to us that who is it equal? Do we have more people doing recycling or more people doing curbside trash? Are people, if they do more trash and no recycling, then we know that they're buying more bags than usual, I guess. I mean, it just gives us another indication. I don't really care. You know, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just trying to figure some other aspects out.
Okay, I mean, I no objection to the questions whatsoever. I just didn't know where you were going with it. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the more questions, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Trevor, do you have any other, George, this is you.
No, go ahead. You can take it.
No, no, no. I
I'm
just
with-
didn't know if Trevor had any other questions that he wanted or,
Nope, I think that's pretty straightforward.
Okay. So can we have a motion to send out the questionnaire?
Motion granted.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Pacheco,
Yes.
and Selectman Grunwald.
Yes.
All right, I'll add that in that question to the thing, and I'll send it out tomorrow. So next we have security cameras at the transfer station.
Okay. I have not picked out a system yet. I thought somebody else was going to be doing that, but I guess things being the way they are, I will pick out a system and recommend it to you at the next meeting. But do we have a budget for this? If not, can we vote on a budget? $1,000 for the system or
You
whatever?
would, you would,
You're gonna have to go to the reserve fund.
yeah, you just have to, we don't have to vote a budget. You just have to go to the reserve fund with
Okay.
whatever.
Price it out and then we'll make a reserve fund request.
Okay. Well, my question really was to Lisa and do you have a limit on how much you want to spend? I mean, I think around $1,000 should be more than adequate.
Oh, I would think so.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Okay, all right, then.
That includes installation, any new wiring and anything like that?
No, that's for the system. I have no idea. It depends on the type of system, but I think what we talked about before, Lisa, you and I did discuss this, I think, at one of the meetings, that we would just put the cameras around the building so there wouldn't have to be any extra wiring.
Yeah, I
brought in.
think, yeah, I think we said 2 cameras, like one at the front of the building so you could see, and just one other one, so we wouldn't, yeah, we definitely said like 2 more cameras should give us, what we're looking for.
Right, I mean, most of the systems that I've looked at come with 6 or even 8 cameras. But you had also requested, or not requested so much as discussed, a camera inside the shed. Do you-
No, no, I don't remember that. I remember you saying somebody fell, but I said pointing to the shed because, there was an incident there, but I don't.
Somebody
remember
fell
when-
out. That was outside.
Yeah, no, that, I
Yeah.
don't,
Okay, I mean, a camera inside would be a little bit
intrusive.
intrusive is the word I was looking for. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, so we just put whatever number of cameras on the building facing every direction that would be helpful. Doesn't have to be, too,
It doesn't really have to be too elaborate, just as long as you're getting, the last time when something happened, we could see what was going on. So I think that's all we're worried about. For the safety of the people that work there is more or less where I'm coming from.
exactly. The other question is we can get a system with a recorder that would be right on site versus having it on the internet. Now, if you have it on the internet, it can be accessed from anywheres, and it could be accessed by the police station, town hall, whatever. If we only have it set up that it records at the transfer station, the recorder can disappear, which is a problem, or it could break for that matter. So what would you guys prefer on that? Usually,
I would think we want like a Nest type like thing that can be logged into by people that have rights, and then it's automatically recorded all the time. I'm not sure. You'd have to look into what the packages are for the kind of like, I'm sure any recording
storage.
will be over recorded, like you only have so much data that you can use. But I think it makes a lot more sense. And probably these days, it's probably cheaper to just have it, the cameras themselves are Wi-Fi enabled and they hook up into some type of cloud, and then that can be accessed.
Yeah,
That'll be an additional charge, George.
right. To be a charge, a monthly fee or an
That's
annual.
usually like $6 a camera.
Okay. All right, but no one has any objection to the monthly charge if we do this?
No, I do not.
No,
All right, then that's what I'll get information on then, that type of system, okay?
okay,
Do we need to take a vote on that or?
no. I don't
Okay.
think so. I think we already voted to look into the camera, so I think we're good with that already. We'll just vote to move it over to the reserve fund, to the finance committee, once we have a hard number on what it's gonna cost us.
Okay. All right, so that's it then. Done deal.
Okay,
Right. So
thanks, George.
next we have the Personnel Board. First thing on there is appoint preliminary screening committee for the town administrator.
Okay, that's me. I will accept a motion to appoint the following individuals to the preliminary screening committee for town administrator. That would be Tim, Ally, Kim, town accountant, Gary Martin, and FinCom chair, and Bob, is it Jose? I should know his last name. So those are the members that I'd like to appoint.
I'll make a motion to accept and to appoint.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
perfect.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
Selectman Pacheco,
Yes,
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes. All right.
All right, that was easy enough. Next, we have a series of appointments. We have Paula Charette, Amanda Murphy, and Coral Costello as election workers, effective September 8th, 2020, as recommended by the town clerk.
I'll accept a motion to make these appointments.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
Selectman Pacheco,
yes,
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes.
All right. Next is Amanda Barlow, representing Precinct 3, and Ellen Lima, representing a Precinct 2. It says 1, but it's supposed to be 2, to the Parks and Recreation Committee, effective September 8th, 2020. And there were no other applicants at this time for those appointments.
I'll accept a motion to make these appointments to the Parks and Recreation Committee.
so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
Selectman Pacheco,
yes,
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes.
All right. And finally, Town Hall Custodial Maintenance Worker, effective September 8th. And I'll kick it to David to give the recommendation.
Okay.
If that's okay with the board.
We did, Trevor, myself, and Ally, I believe also was part of an interviewing team. We interviewed 2 applicants. We then, based upon the interviews, would like to make a recommendation of Tim Devine as the new town hall custodian.
so moved.
Second.
Sorry, what was that?
I made the motion.
Motion granted? All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
I don't know if I got a second there.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
Selectman Pacheco,
yes,
and Selectman Matthews.
Yes.
All right. So next up, we have old business. I don't have any updates on any of these beyond what was said at the last meeting. Town hall phone system is still a little bit up in the air. I believe we're waiting on Verizon, so hopefully that will be done relatively soon. Other than that, that's it.
all right. Next, we're doing what?
Next is actually the joint meeting, which is posted for 6 o'clock. So I would recommend the board go into recess until then.
Do I have a motion to go into recess?
Motion granted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Guys, if you have time, maybe review to see what questions you have, so then that way we can go through it quicker than not?
Sounds
If you ha-
good.
If you haven't done that already.
All right, just got to do the roll call on that one. Selectman Matthews,
Yes.
Selectman Grunwald,
Yes.
and Selectman
Ooh.
Pacheco. Do not know your name.
Oh, gosh, I'm gonna get some more water while I'm away. Yes.
All right, see everyone at 6.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Are we off?